moderate Muslims, and I don't care for that word, and I don't care for the word radical, because radical Muslims are not radical. What they are is observant, pious Muslims, and what we call moderate are lackadaisical Muslims, easygoing, secular, cultural Muslims, where, we do the Ramadan thing, we have a feast, we go to the mosque once in a while, that sort of thing. Some don't even do any of that. So, but in no way, shape, or form do these moderate Muslims, as we call them, who do exist, they are not representative of Islam. Okay, and that's the whole point. Same thing you can say about, like I said, Christians and Jews. And I mean, look, in Judaism, you have the Orthodox Jews, you have the secular or, Reformed, and obviously one will say one's not doing it the right way, for example, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So, the text, the teaching is what it is. It is by any measure what we would call radical and disturbing and draconian. The punishments and the amputations and the whipping, that's all part of Islam. Why? And if you want, we can get into it, but because it's part of what's called Sharia law. And Sharia law is based on the literal words of the Quran, which are believed to be from Allah, and Muhammad's words and deeds, which are many. And in the Quran says you have a perfect example in Muhammad, and you have to follow him. Okay? And just to show you what I'm talking about, in the Quran, for example, there's this doctrine which, to me, so you were asking me earlier, what's the most problematic thing? One was, of course, the shock at, this disconnect between what Muslims were really up to with the Al-Qaeda and what Westerners, how, not only were they clueless, but they were actually disseminating their lies. But the other one was this doctrine that even until now, no one really wants to talk about. People will talk about jihad. To me, the most problematic doctrine, in Arabic, it's called al-wala wal-bara, and these two words can be translated in various ways. They can be called loyalty and enmity. Some Muslims translate them as love and hate, which is actually pretty good.
Okay.
And with this doctrine, which is in the Quran, teaches Muslims must only be loyal to fellow Muslims, the Ummah.
Yes.
Okay, they are their only friends, and the non-Muslims, you have to hate them. Okay, and it even says, even if they're your fathers and your brothers and your wives. I translated a video of a popular Egyptian cleric, it's on my YouTube channel, who says...
I've seen this.
No, you've seen it.
I've seen it on your channel, but please tell the
audience. Yeah, where he basically says, and this is because of the teaching of the hatred for non-Muslims, Islam allows Muslim men to marry Christian women and Jews because they're the people of the book. But it's also interesting because, of course, a Christian man can't marry a Muslim woman. Why? Because, of course, they see it from a purely patriarchal worldview, which is, okay, as long as the woman is the infidel, who cares? She's subjugated anyway. That's why you can't have a male Christian or Jew married to a Muslim, because you can't have a Muslim being subjugated, right? But so he says, even though that's a legit, you have to hate her in your heart. And show her you hate her. And he says you can enjoy her sexually, you can enjoy her whatever way, but make sure she knows you hate her.
على حب أهل الكتاب بجواز الزواج من الكتابيات. كيف يتزوجها وهو يكرهها؟ إيه المانع يعني؟ كل الناس بتحب زوجاتهم. كم من الناس بينهم خلافات وعايشين. ومع ذلك فهو قد يحب شكلها، أو يحب تربيتها للأولاد، أو يحب أن عندها مال. ولذلك يكره أن يتزوج الكتابية لأنها ليست ذات دين، وهو مأمور بأن يبغضها على دينها مع بقائه في معاشرتها. وهذا أمر معتاد جدا. أقول لك، كل من يغتصب امرأة بيحبها ولا يعاشرها فقط؟ يعاشرها من أجل جسدها فقط، ولا يحبها في الحقيقة. ومع ذلك لأنه لو كان كذلك لما آذاها. ومع ذلك فيمكن وجود المعاشرة الجنسية دون حب. فهذا ممكن، ومأمور هو كما ذكرنا بأن يبغضها، فتترك النصوص القاطعة.
Okay. And here we go to the moderate thing. Even in the audience, because he's preaching, some Muslims find it hard to reconcile these are who we would call moderates. But he says it's in the Quran. And it is in the Quran. Okay, there's Quran Surah 60 verse 4 says Ibrahim, who's Abraham from Genesis. Islam appropriates a lot of these biblical characters. Says, so the Genesis account, God calls Abraham and he leaves the land of Ur. Okay, And that's the end of it. In the Islamic account, not only does he do that, but he tells his former kinsmen, and until you believe in God, Allah, hatred will reign between us forever. All right? And the Quran talks about how these early pious Muslims, including the first Caliph, Abu Bakr, and Omar, the followers of Muhammad, in wars tried to kill their own relatives, and they did kill their own relatives. So the whole point is loyalty belongs exclusively to fellow Muslims. It's what Muhammad did, as I always say, the genius of Muhammad, is he took the tribal mores of his world, 7th century Arabia, and re-articulated them through a theological paradigm, which made them so powerful. So now normal tribalism, which we understand is, me and my people, and you're the outsider, you're the enemy. But now it's no longer my race or culture. It's the Ummah, it's Islam working together as a body, and everyone's the other tribe, and we're at war with them one way or the other.